Hi, and welcome to the Leader's Edge, how to sharpen your competitive advantage and make a positive impact as a leader in your organization and community. I'm Emily Chee, and with me is Georgia Donaldson.
Good morning.
Morning. We are leadership coaches and hosts of this show. And our topic today is leader as a coach. Georgia. This is a tough one, right?
Yeah,
This
we're
is
getting
a
into the
tricky one for
juicy,
some leaders.
into the
Sorry,
juicy stuff, right?
into the juicy stuff. So,
Yes.
when we think of leadership and leading as a coach, sometimes, as I was saying, that can be a tough one for some of us, especially
Hmm.
if we're new at leading, especially if we are accustomed to taking charge. Some of us, like myself, we have a strong D in the disc, if you remember the disc. So we like to take action, get things done, and that it could be hard to tame that when we start off in leading, especially if we're new at it. Yeah,
Hmm.
Georgia, you
Yes. Oh, without a doubt, Emily. And some of us who like to talk. As a coach, you're not the one doing most of the talking. You're doing the listening. So that's a switch as well.
yes, yes, and we also into asking versus telling, right? So
Right.
if we're coaching, we're more into asking, lots more
Hmm.
questions versus telling what to do, and what
Right.
is easier for most of us.
Tell, tell, tell.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
want you, as we go into this conversation a little bit, to think of your style. Think of some of the things we just raised. Like what type of leader are you? Do you feel like you do use coaching at some points during your leadership as part of your style? Are you comfortable in that role as a coach when it comes to having those kinds of conversations, or totally not comfortable at all with it? Maybe you
Yeah.
just don't know how, right? You just don't know how to approach it, and that's fine. We just want you to have to think about where you are, and if it is that you feel you want to change that,
Hmm.
then
Yes.
keep
Right.
listening to what we have to talk about today.
Yes. And Emily, we want our guests to think about whatever is this stage of the life cycle of your team. Coaching is going to be an important part of your arsenal. So if it's a brand new team, coaching is good. If you're still forming and you're norming, it's great. If you are in a mature stage in your team, coaching is wonderful. So it fits in any stage of the life cycle of your team. And it's
Yeah,
something that we are recommending that you develop as a leader, that coaching
yeah.
mentality. Yeah. So, Emily, you want to jump in to share about an experience you may have had with coaching or not coaching?
Yes. So yes, Georgia. So I have a little story about myself in terms of my style,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always prided myself as a go-to person, right? I've always been a person who liked to help, who liked to get things done. And so in all of my roles, including leadership roles, the
Mm-hmm.
go-to person, we have a problem, let's talk to Emily. She's gonna
Right.
help us solve this problem.
Who you gonna call? Who you gonna
We're
call?
gonna
Call
call, right?
Emily.
And what I realized, it was an awakening of sorts. So when I took the break from work and I from formal work, and I signed up for my coaching program. On the very first program, we were having this conversation, right? And learning about coaches. What we do is we hold clients as whole, capable, creative, and resourceful. And
Wow,
our
Emily, stop right there. Let's say that again, because those
I
are four
whole,
powerful words. Yes, let's say
yes,
that again.
exactly, whole,
Mm-hmm.
capable, creative, and resourceful.
Mm.
And yeah, so that struck me, and it's obviously started me thinking about my role as a leader. Have I been holding my people, my team, as whole, capable, creative, resourceful? And
Mm-hmm.
the role of a coach. So when you put on your coaching hat, and remember with leadership, we have different hats, right? So I mean, we
Yes,
don't always have this hat on in every situation, but when we
yes.
put on that coaching hat, the intent is that we have to trust that our client has the solution
Mm-hmm.
and has the ability, the capability, and the resourcefulness to come up and the creativity to come up with a solution,
Yes.
right? So my way of doing things had always been the fixer, the problem solver, the person who got to the solution, and maybe telling too much the answers meant I wasn't doing that. And
Yeah.
it felt, it was like, it hit me here, because it was like, wow, I always want to help people, but
Mm-hmm.
am I really helping? Have
Okay.
I been really helping? And it really hit me hard because I figured, I could have been so much more effective in those situations and use them
Mm-hmm.
as coaching or teaching moments versus just giving the solution or being too willing to give it too quickly. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So that is, I mean, it's a weird kind of, not a funny story. It was a story that
Wow.
really hit me,
Yeah.
as I said. It made me realize it really turned on some fired up some, I guess, neurons in my mind. It's like,
Neurons.
wait,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 The lights went
the
on.
lights went on. It was like this
Yeah.
aha, we get in
That was
coaching. It was
your
like this aha moment. As
your
a, oh my gosh, look
yeah.
at that. And that
Yes.
was my very first class.
So Emily, let's unpack that a little bit
Yeah,
because when we talk about you see your client, we're now talking about us as leaders and we're seeing our employees and those we're interacting with as whole, creative, capable, and resourceful. And we're saying to ourselves, wow, this is a real person we're dealing with. Because too often we see our employees as just that, employees, and not seeing the whole picture and not seeing the level of creativity that they have, not seeing the capacity that they have to do more, and not seeing how resourceful they are. And when we step in and think that we need to tell more than ask and do more than coach them to get it done, then we're standing in their way instead of making a path open for them. So that's really powerful, Emily, because we don't even need to say anything more. If we are just saying to people who are listening this morning, see your employees as whole, capable, creative, and resourceful, then it's going to say some things to us. It's going to say that we need to ensure that there's a developmental path for them. We need to have developmental goals for them. We need to listen to them. We need to challenge and support them. And when we start doing that, we're going to see how wonderful the collaboration is going to be and how much more we're bringing out that resourcefulness in them. What are you thinking, Emily?
yeah, that's a big part of the message, because it is, I think for me, when I said it hit me here, it's like, um, if I were to see them, I think to some extent, as leaders, we see ourselves superior to,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Yes.
know the answers because we do. Because I mean,
Yeah.
we have more experience, we probably do know. Um, but as I said, and it's also easier, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
easier and faster to give the answers versus to bring it out of somebody, to
Yeah.
get it out of somebody, and to help them think.
Yes.
However, so I think what hurt a lot for me in that moment was I've never felt that I was
Mm-hmm.
superior to, but yet I was doing it sort of
Yes.
unconsciously.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it really hurt because I'm like, that's not me, that is not me at all. And that was never
Mm-hmm.
my intention. So it was
Mm-hmm.
unintentional. And I think a lot of us with the who, especially, and most of us tend to want to assist and help and support. So the
Yes.
thing is, I thought I was doing it, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't doing it effectively.
Effectively.
So when you
Right.
say support, what do you mean? How do
Mm-hmm.
we get them to think more
Right.
critically and to analyze situations and help them join their own dots and create that network in
Yes.
their own minds so that they can come up to the solution? So it's like I use the metaphor always, the teaching a man how to fish versus giving them the
Versus
fish,
giving
right?
him a fish. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is so from a leadership perspective, the role is to get more creative yourself,
Right.
ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
find out, think about the questions to ask them to help them connect the dots,
Mm-hmm.
and not go the easy route or the faster route
Mm-hmm.
to just have the train continue to run, because I know the
Mhm.
train has to run. We have deadlines, we have things, and sometimes we may have to tell because it's expedient. But think about what we're doing, and are we really supporting and developing them,
Yes.
our team members? And I always also say this, Georgia, when
Mm-hmm.
we get them to support, when we support them and they
Yeah.
are doing the thinking, then that creates such a higher performing level in the
Oh,
whole
yes.
team, right?
Yes.
Because that's
It
what we
really
want,
does.
right? We get frustrated when why aren't they thinking? Why aren't they
Mm-hmm.
thinking? And that's because
Mm-hmm. You've been doing
partly
the thinking for them.
we gave them the habit. We
Yes.
gave them the habit, right? So
Yeah.
we don't realize that, what is my responsibility in the
Yeah.
situation? How
Yeah.
did I contribute to the
Mm-hmm.
situation I am experiencing? So
Mm-hmm.
there's so many nuggets here,
Oh
Georgia.
my goodness, Emily. So I was joking with you before we came on that you're going to be the guest today.
Yeah,
And yes, you are the guest, and you're really giving us some good stuff. Emily,
yeah,
one of the things you mentioned, though, it hit you and you got your aha moment. But for many leaders, it's the self awareness that's lacking. And how do you gain that self awareness? And that is why, as leaders ourselves, we many times need to have a coach. So I have a coach, you have a coach, even though we are coaches and we see the benefit of coaching. Yes, so it's one of the things that we'd recommend to you as leaders to gain that level of self awareness, to be vulnerable enough to say, yes, I see there's an area where I can make a difference and I can make a change. And someone can help to hold your hands and walk you through it. And then
yeah,
there's trust. And when you start doing that, you will see the level of trust that is built in your team. And when there's a high level of trust, you're going to see how much that team starts to progress and produce more. So these are some wonderful things we're talking about this morning, Emily. I'm
yeah,
hoping that those who are listening and watching now and those who are going to be catching us on the replay will start thinking about themselves as a leader and how are they coaching their teams. So we're not saying that you're going to become a full-fledged coach, but what we're saying is part of your arsenal is coaching. So today you may be the coach, tomorrow you may be the guide, the next day you're going to take on a new form of leadership. It's depending on the situation in your team. But what we wanted to do for you today is to give you these insights so you can use this to make your team a better team. So, Emily, you want to wrap?
absolutely. So, I mean, I just want to say one thing about that coaching thing, Georgia, just to
Yes.
also bring it home, right? So, again, it's interesting that I didn't really understand the value of coaching until I went to coaching training. Like, I had a few experiences with coaches prior, and
Mhm.
I never really felt I got anything, but I don't know. I don't know what was different. Maybe because as I learned the value of
Mhm.
it, and we practiced in sessions, and I saw how it was
Yes.
impacting the different people. So we had to pay a coach a lot while being in the training and doing different things.
Okay.
um so it's interesting that you say that. I mean, yes, I mean, now I really appreciate the value, and I really understand that awareness is the metaphor of the iceberg. There's always more for us to dive
Way
down in
down.
and to
Yes.
understand, and to bring to the surface to help us be that whole creative,
Mm-hmm.
capable, resourceful person that we are individually as well, right? And yeah, so I just wanted to say that
Oh,
to say to
yes.
people that you know um, maybe if you've never tried it, or even if you've tried coaching and it didn't quite work, I mean, maybe try another coach,
Yes.
give yourself the opportunity. But there is a lot, I mean, immense value. I see it all the time in
Yes.
getting that kind of support for yourself, that developmental support. I mean, really immense
Yes.
value with the
Yes.
things. I mean, I would have never learned what I learned, and look how long it took me to learn that. And I thought I was doing all my support and doing such a great job, with my team, and I was in some ways, but I could have been better. And that's
Right.
the thing; we could always be that
Okay.
much better.
That is for sure. That is for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
So, Emily, I think it's important for us to leave those four words once more. When we
yes,
see our employees as whole, we see that level of creativity that they have, we see them as being capable, and we see them as being resourceful.
Yes.
I think the mic is dropped right there.
Absolutely. So the action today for you guys is have you been or are you being a coach to your teams? And even if you don't have a team reporting directly to you, you can be that coach to people like your peers, when you're talking about ideas or exchanging and somebody comes to you for a solution or to discuss a situation. You can learn to utilize more coaching methods to be able to help them come to their solutions versus giving them your opinion all the time. Now, our opinions are great, but not always necessary. So that's what I want to say at the end here. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Georgia, it's been a
Same here.
pleasure.
Same here,
And
Emily. I feel part two coming on. I feel part two.
wonderful. So
Yes.
see you all in the next one.
Take
Take
care.
care. And if you did
Bye.
listen, make a little note, leave us a comment, tell us anything, ask us a question, tell us, something that you got. It would be lovely always to get feedback. All right. Take care
Take care,
now.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.